All right, so Christopher Paolini just revealed the new cover for his new book, and I think it's a great cover, but there's a little bit of discussion about it. Someone brought up that it looked like an AI-generated cover, and Christopher Paolini said, no, it was not AI-generated, it was designed by an artist, and he says it was created using some distorted water imagery. So I will show you the cover. So this is the cover. If you've seen my previous video on AI book covers, I use Midjourney, and Midjourney in this current version has a certain style. And this image just looks very much like that style. It's very recognizable. So now this is not only on Twitter, but also on Reddit, both on our fantasy and our Midjourney subreddits. People have been discussing this. So one person says that, I mean, if it is an AI generated, it was made to look exactly like it, complete with incomplete limbs, stray artifacts, and vague design. So if you can see here, the astronaut looks really vague. We don't even know if it's like an astronaut or not. It's like there is sort of a helmet. His limbs are not complete. They have like artifacts all over, and same thing with the rocks around him. And of course, this vague cave, portal / black hole type of thing that's going on. Someone else says, if you check the Midjourney community feed with search query black hole astronaut, it isn't even funny how ridiculous amount of images like this are in the results. Someone else says it's a classic Midjourney cliche image. The person who pointed out that it was an AI generated image actually created an image very similar to this one. I'll show you that one too. So if you can see, he was able to create a very similar astronaut using Midjourney and very similar rocks. I don't know what prompt he used, but I used some prompts and I was able to create very similar images to this one. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this cover and then compare it to my version of the cover and then some other images generated by Midjourney and decide if this was actually created by an AI or not. I am actually a designer. I work as a designer, and my approach to AI is it's another tool, it's here to stay. We need to get used to it. This kind of outburst that AI art isn't real art happens with every new development in technology. People used to say that for digital photography, then they used to say that for digital art, they used to say it for Photoshop, they used to say it for Illustrator. So whenever something new comes up, people are scared of it and it takes some time to accept it, but art hasn't been about technique for the past 200 years. It's more about ideas anyway. Apart from the controversy that people saying this is AI art, people who don't know what Midjourney art looks like actually loves the cover. I do think that it's a great cover. I'm not even a Paolini fan or anything like that, but like I would buy this book and put it on my shelf. It looks really good. I think the previous book, To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, also look great. That is definitely not an AI generated art. But anyway, so this is the full cover for this. So I actually use the same typesetting, and I'm gonna show you first my pick. I actually numbered these so that you can tell me which one is your favorite. So once again, this is the original image. So let's call my pick cover 0, okay? So this is my pick. So this is not super close to it, but I think it's close enough. We have that hole. I like that mine looks a little bit more like a mysterious portal-like thing. I like my astronaut a bit better, and I like my rocks a bit better too. My rocks are more defined. I might have used one of the beta modes in Midjourney. This might not have been the current version. So they have 2 test versions of the AI, which are not fully released yet, but you can use them. They give a little bit of better results. They're more refined. So this is my version. I'll show you with the typesetting. So this is how I did the typesetting. I also created some mockups. Let's check the mockups too. So here is the original cover. It's a little bit more rugged, and then next to it, here is mine. I think mine is cleaner. I actually like mine a little bit better, I have to say. But again, execution can vary. I think the idea is more important here, and I think it's a good idea. I like the title too. I think Fractal Noise is a cool title. I don't know if I would use this particular font. I do like this font quite a bit, and I do use it a lot on my thumbnails too. But like, I don't know if I would use like more like a classic retro sci-fi font type of thing. I haven't spent that much time thinking about it. You know, this image took me 3 minutes, not even that. I mean, I put the sentence in and Midjourney just created it. I don't exactly remember my prompts. I put in several different prompts, but like mostly what I tried to put in was, let's see a little bit. So like astronauts on Mars, surrounded by red rocks, looking at a black hole portal vortex cave entrance. So I played with those sorts of words in different orders, etc., and came up with a bunch of images. So let's start with number 1. So this one actually looks, again, more refined. This might be one of the test modes because it looks really clear. I really like the astronaut here. I think it looks much clearer. And this looks more like a cave entrance, but like a mysterious cave entrance. That's what I like about this one. So let's go to number 2. This is more rugged. It's closer to that one. The hole is a little bit smaller. I think we can make it a bit larger if we want it. But you can see the arms of the astronaut have similar issues to the original cover. The rocks look very similar to me. The textures are quite similar. But I don't know, I quite like this one too. What do you think? So number 3 actually looks a little bit like number 1, but more rugged. So it's in style closer to the original cover. The astronaut looks super similar too. So what might have happened here is I used probably the same prompt with a test mode in the current released version of Midjourney. This is number 4. I really like the portal / black hole in this one. There's like this really consistent vortex-like feeling that leads you into that hole in this one. And the rocks look quite good on this one too, but I don't like the astronaut on this one. If I used this version, I would probably replace the astronaut. But yeah, this was number 4. Let's move on to number 5. This one is like a larger hole and a very small, I'm not sure if it's an astronaut, it's a person. There is definitely a person. There's maybe a smaller person next to them, but this looks more like a cave entrance. It looks like there are some other small figures. I don't know if they're supposed to be humans or not, but like AI is a bit confused in this one about the figures, and they're just not very well defined, but I do like the cave. Number 6 is, this is so strange. It's just, I mean, there's something super compelling about it. It looks like a hole, but not on the ground. It's like a horizontal hole because it looks like these 2 people are standing on a hill. I really like it, but it's a different approach to the same design. Number 7, I like this one quite a bit. The problem is I cannot use this one at all because there's no astronaut on it. So I would need to add a separate astronaut if I wanted to use this one. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to sort of take exactly what the AI gave me. I didn't want to do a lot of edits on this one. I also don't like that the hole is to the side, so I would probably need to crop it. But if I cropped it, I would probably lose the definition I like on the right side there. But I really like the hole. It looks, the halo around the hole looks really nice. And this one is so otherworldly because there is this black hole and then there's sort of like the celestial light on the ground. Again, there is no astronaut. I want an astronaut. That's like an important part of the prompt. But once again, Midjourney ignored my astronaut prompt. In these 2, I might have put black hole before astronaut, so it prioritized creating a black hole and then omitted the astronauts. This one again looks very similar to the original design in its ruggedness and the shapes of the hole and the rocks. You know, the vague shape of the astronaut, the helmet. I think it looks pretty close to the original one. Number 10 is we have a larger astronaut. Once again, I think it looks very similar to the original design. The rocks look very similar. I think they look a little bit better. And this is more like a cave entrance, but still there's this halo around the cave entrance. Let's go to number 11. This one has a smaller hole and the astronaut is way less defined. I don't even know if that's an astronaut. It's like a figure for sure. But again, the swirl and the rocks look very similar in all of these, if you noticed, because Midjourney has this kind of style. It's immediately recognizable. You can force it to use different styles, but if you don't add any style guides, it will give you this. Number 12 is actually pretty good, and this is very close. So I was trying more of a cave entrance prompt on these ones instead of like a portal black hole type of prompt. But I like that there's a large hole and a small person, because that's really what I wanted to get, but I wasn't able to get it every time. But again, like stylistically, it just looks very similar to all the others. This one actually, number 13, looks a bit different than the rest of them. I really like it quite a bit, because I think this is the best astronaut. This is probably one of the test modes again. Where he's standing looks pretty good too. There is this curvature to where he's standing, and then there's a circular black hole he's looking at, so those complement each other really well and leads your eye towards it. I like that there are lots of stars in the sky. So this was actually my second favorite. I was thinking about doing this one for the cover, but then I ended up going with the other one. But I like this one quite a bit too. What do you think? And then this is the last one, number 14. This one was very different than the other ones, right? This is stylistically so different. I didn't enter any style prompts, but this looks so much different than the other ones. So if I saw this one, I wouldn't necessarily think it was Midjourney. What I like is it gave like an interesting twist to the portal where you can see another astronaut inside the portal. That's not what I ask in the prompts at all, but I like that it came up with that idea. I could easily use this for another book cover. It looks so good, I think. It's just like the detail is pretty great, and it says like, stylistically, it's more like that vintage sci-fi cover style. I like that one quite a bit. But yeah, so those are the 14 images I generated for Fractal Noise covers by Christopher Paolini. You know, as I said, no shade to the artist. We don't know, maybe the artist didn't use AI at all, but even if they did, I think it's time to get used to it. The end result is, I think, great. I really like that cover. Also, this is a sci-fi book, so I think it's only fitting to have an AI book cover. So intellectually, I like the idea as well. But yeah, let me know what you think about it. What do you think about these covers? Do you like what they ended up going with? Do you like one of mine? Do you care if a book cover is designed by the help of AI? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you want to see more book covers designed by AI, you can watch this video right here. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And if you want to see more, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.